amigos, ¿cómo están? Hello, welcome to Lima, welcome to Peru. It is so good to have you here in my home. And well, thank you so much for joining this Ask Me Anything About Peru. I am so excited to read your questions and to know what you want to know from my country. And that's why I am here with Marek. Marek is a tour guide. He's also an archaeologist, and we are married because he's the best guy here in the country. So I really appreciate that he's here with us and that we can together answer your questions. And also we have some things prepared for you. So if you are ready to start this, ask me anything, just let me know it by a thumbs up, maybe by a heart, just to know that you are prepared to start this event with us. And thank you so much, by the way. Well, everybody that is joining, I don't know if we have people that are new to the concept of, the tours in Peru. I would love to know also if you have some interest in particular about, I don't know, maybe programs in Peru, or what is life in Peru. So, by the way, does anyone has been, hi Liz, hola.
Hola, hola.
Does anyone in the group, besides Liz comes a lot to my tours, and she knows actually a lot about Peru and Lima in particular. Anyone in the group is completely new to Peru, or maybe you are planning to come to Peru? Let me know also if you are maybe on your way to this country, maybe in the future, so we can give you some advices. So, hola Gunta, thank you so much for coming today. Oh, so you're new. Thank you so much for visiting Lima, and I hope you enjoy this. This is the first edition, by the way, we are doing of this Ask Me Anything. So we wanted to have the chance of interacting a little bit with you, a little bit more like random themes, not something only about history. So thanks for coming, by the way, from Niagara Falls, Canada.
Mhm.
Oh, wow, you're from Canada. Well, thanks for coming. Thank you so much. Where is it? Minus 15 Celsius this morning. Wow, so that's colder than my fridge. That is really cold. I've never experienced something like that here in Lima. I cannot say that the whole country is the same. Peru is a very big country. We have different realities. But Lima, my city, I've never experienced that cold, never in my life. For me, very cold is 15 Celsius. That is cold. That is like I am using a beanie, I am using gloves, I am like having 2 layers of jacket, one over the other. So it is, we are not prepared for winter. But of course, with proper gear, you can go anywhere. So, but Marek he's Peruvian, but he's not just Peruvian. He was born in Poland, so he has a combination of, let's say, backgrounds. He's Peruvian Polish. Mm-hmm.
And as a Peruvian Polish tour guide, I travel a lot inside Peru, so I know the different climates, different places, how to dress, what to eat, in most of the country. Mm-hmm.
Yes, exactly. So he has a perspective of things that is very European. Like when I see things, I see life. My perspective is just like any Peruvian would be. Now, for example, punctuality. When we talk about punctuality in Peru and punctuality in other parts of the world, so Peruvians and Latin Americans in general, we are not really people that are known to be on time always. And we know the difference between work, of course, and our life in general, like our personal lives. So when we are, for example, with our friends, we are always late. That is normal. That is when you come to a party in the time of the invitation, nobody will be ready for you. It has happened in many occasions to Marek, for example. He don't see things like that, because he was raised in a Polish Peruvian family in which punctuality is always important. So although he is Peruvian too, because he's lived more years here in
Yes, yes, of
Peru
course.
and in Poland, he always goes on time everywhere. And in many occasions, like he has knocked the door right on time, the time in the invitation, and the person that opens the door is with the towel in her head and say, why are you coming so late, so early? You should be here in an hour. So it is sort of like the normal thing here. So it's like a code, no? It's so hola, Adam. So yes, Liz, yes, Adam, that's life here, no? So sis, hola sis, thanks for coming. We're just finishing a stretch of 30-35 in Manitoba, Canada. Oh, Manitoba, Canada.
Minus 30, minus
Oh,
35.
minus 35. I thought it was like 30 minutes you were doing, some yoga or exercise. So what? It's amazing how can be this cold. Oh, wow. Like it's something I can never imagine. I hope one day to experience that. Of course, sis, I would love to go to your city one day, but I am sure I'm going to be like shaking, like for maybe day. I will not be able to get used to that easily. We don't use any heating in Peru. In most of the country, we don't use any, let's say, air
Air conditioned too. We
conditioning.
have big windows. Just open the window in summer.
Yes,
Something like
that's right. Oh, muchas gracias. Thank you, thank you. This is one of my favorite dresses for my tours. Also, I love this one for going, especially for the season. We are in summer. We are in summer, so we are having a lot of fun in these days. And after so many months in lockdowns, after so long in our homes, we Latinos in general, not just Peruvians, we are very outspoken. We like to talk to the people. We just go to the bus stop and we end up being friends with everybody, especially people like me that like to talk. So we end up being friends with many people. So we are very, very social, and it is normal that sometimes when we are just meeting someone, instead of just saying hello, hi, we give a kiss. Hi, my name is Vanessa. What's your name? No, my name is Maria. So another kiss. So what's your name? So that's the way how we do, and it has been really hard for us not to keep that social life. So, seed goal is okay. I've been to North Pole in Antarctica. Oh, that is another level. That is another level. See, I can imagine that is really, really extreme. But it's amazing how we humans have adapted to all kinds of conditions and terrains, right? Especially, for example, in my case, I've been able to be exposed and also managed to the altitude, no? And the people of Uro Islands in Titicaca Lake. And what do you think? How do you think they have adapted so well to the altitude there?
No, the adaptation to the altitude is not genetically, but if you born in the altitude, for example, your body produce more hemoglobin. No, they have higher hemoglobin than us, and also here the lungs and the chest and the heart are around 10 to 15% bigger than normally, because it grows when they are little, when they are babies, and our ribs are not fixed to the spine, so these organs can expand a little bit more. So when you touch the chest of an Andean man or woman, so it's like a drum. You feel it.
Yeah, they are the people in the Andes tend to be much more
Wider
wider,
and
no?
short.
Yes, and short. And it's interesting how our genetics had adapted, our bodies have adapted to the different environments in the planet Earth. So, but eventually we can also build enough hemoglobin to survive
Yes.
with no problems in the elevation. But it takes some time. So, how long do you think it takes to adapt to the elevation?
After 48 to 72 hours, you start to produce more hemoglobin.
Mm-hmm.
And that hemoglobin remains with you even when you get out from the altitude, for example, if you was 10 days on the altitude, so you will have 5 more days in the sea level with the higher level of hemoglobin, and then it turns back again because the body recognizes that don't need to produce more hemoglobin. For
Exactly.
example, it's a very interesting way of natural doping. I had a group of triathlonists, so we spent 3 weeks on the Andes, making different trekkings, spending the time there. And then they get to Europe and immediately they start the competition and they get very well results because they have higher hemoglobin than the rest of the competitors.
Good. Thank you so much for your compliment. Muchas gracias. We have years practicing our English. Marek is self-taught, and I am as well, mainly self-taught. I received very basic English education for a year only. I learned how to conjugate, like the very basics. But well, later after that year, it was a long time ago in 2001. So after that year, I decided to become a tour guide, and I studied to become a tour guide, but I didn't have emphasis that much in English. I also got a very basic English education. So usually we guys learn on the way. We learn when we are in touch with the culture, with the people, the visitors. So Marek's teachers were
I like hard rock, so my teachers were Jim Hetfield, Axl Rose, and
so his teachers were
Robert Plant. I like Led Zeppelin, and so they were my teachers.
rock singers. So that's because when you are practicing English, sometimes you have to listen to the music and you have to listen to the lyrics. So the lyrics, that singing really is helpful for pronunciation, for especially for the accents. No, so yeah, he had the Luke's teachers actually. My teachers were more the television shows, the TV shows, like for example, let's say Friends and Full House,
Sex and the City,
and Sex and the City, of course. I am Carrie, by the way. So, so basically, that's usually the way how we guys improve English, just practicing and by hearing. So Sid also is commenting, when I went from Lima to Cusco, I had a couple of days of headaches. Yes, I can imagine.
Yeah, that means after the 20 or 48 hours, the body reacts to the new condition and start to improve the production of hemoglobin. So in the first 2 days, you have headache, you don't feel well, stomach is have stomach pain. Also, it's normal. But if this continue after the third day, fourth day, so you need immediately to get back to the sea level because it will get more complicated and it will be finished in hospital.
Yeah. Also, we would like to tell you more about this of the altitude sickness. Give you some recommendations if you ever come in direction to Peru. But before, we'd
or
like
in
to
other place with altitude,
or everywhere.
It works everywhere.
Exactly, everywhere where you are going to the altitude. But before, let us tell you how we ended up knowing a little bit about the altitude sickness and all of that and how to treat it. Marek is mainly a trip leader. He organizes tour groups to Peru, to different parts of Latin America. So he's because he speaks Polish and English, he helps groups and also guides groups in mainly in the country. And I am a tour guide, and I've been also able to travel a lot with tour groups to different parts of my country, to Cusco, to Puno, to Arequipa. And I've been able to see also how the different bodies respond differently to the altitude. There's people that they are like gazelles. They come to Peru, they come to Lima, they go to Cusco, they go to Puno, and they are like running up and down and everything is okay. And we said, no, don't run, please, don't, take it easy. And but I feel very good. And they are really smooth and good until the very end of the trip. So that's a wonderful thing. Like if you have that, it's like if you were given $1 million prize, like you were born with that. But if you are more like normal, like me, I was born in sea level, it's very, very okay. doesn't matter that you are born in Peru or born anywhere. Like if you are, say, from the sea level, most likely you're going to have some issues going to the altitude, but that's okay. It's not a sickness. People call the problem of adaptation to the elevation altitude sickness, and it should not be called a sickness because it's not a sickness. It's a normal way of your body to adapt to an environment where there's less oxygen around, right? So Mare has seen also different types of problems in his life as a trip leader, and sometimes being a trip leader, one thinks is easy, like, oh, that's a luxurious life, being tour guide, being trip leader. You eat in the best restaurants, you eat in nice sites, you're always treated well. But when you have to act, when there are circumstances that, are, for example, someone getting ill from the elevation, that's the moment when nobody wants to be the trip leader. so he has seen a lot of cases of people having issues with the altitude. And which ones are your recommendations, like, for not feeling sick in the altitude?
No, drink a lot of water, because first of all, the blood pressure increases. So you need to drink a lot of water. Eat less, the half you eat maybe in the sea level, because if you eat too much, or the blood will go to your stomach, and you need good blood circulation to function well on the altitude. And always cover your head with some hat, because if it's hot here, also the blood will go immediately just to the head, and the rest of the body will have lack of blood and oxygenation. No?
And
those are
high
the
blood
most
pressure.
important tips. And
Yeah.
people with high blood pressure, I recommend don't go over 2,500 meters or 20,000 feet. No, I don't know how many feet it is. Over 2,500 meters is not recommended for people that have a high blood pressure.
You have to be very careful
8,000 feet. 8,000 feet.
With like correct medication, and also making sure that you have a doctor that is specializing in these situations. No, people with high blood pressure going very, very high in the mountains.
Yeah, coca tea is also good.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially in the beginning, in the first 48 hours. But don't drink too much. Don't drink, for example, in the evening, because it's an stimulator too, so you will not sleep.
It's like
in the mornings.
If you were drinking a Red Bull, right? Like you will not be able to sleep well if you drink coca tea after 6 p.m.
Yeah, I recommend you in the morning, and then after lunch, the last one, and it will be okay, 2 or 3 cups per day. It helps.
Mirella, what an interesting question. Thank you so much. And by the way, don't be shy with your questions. Don't be shy. We don't want you to feel worried about like, maybe this is not a proper question. Ask me anything about Peru. That's okay. No problem. So Mirella is asking, can any of you read Quipus Inca? What an interesting question. Marek is answering this one here. I'm going to find you a picture of a quipu for my friends that don't know what it is.
Really, I can't. Vanessa can't too. And any guide or any archaeologist I know can read the quipus. Why? Because we have 2 less quipus in the world. The quipus were destroyed by Spaniards. When Spaniards noticed that the Incan people can transmit information, can keep information in that way, so they believe that this is a devil's thing, a demoniac thing. So they decide to destroy all the quipus they can find. So they burn all the quipus, they kill the people who know how to read the quipus, and the knowledge disappear. Of course, many people hide the quipus, but they were founded centuries later in the archaeological context, and we have a few in the world, a few hundreds, so it's not enough to decode the system. But we know that it's related with the knots, the kind of knots, and the color of the quartz.
So these are some examples of quipus, my friends. For those that have never heard about this name before, the quipu was a kind of sort of like a abacus, like an ancient Incan abacus, but also more accurate description will be this is like a recording system, a way to record information using knots. Like you can see, for example, here in this section, we have some threads with knots, and the archaeologists don't come to a conclusion of what the knots represent. But we know the knots represented ideas, they represented quantities. For example, there's a theory that says that if the knot is lower in the level of the chord, it would represent units. If it's higher, tenth, hundreds, thousands, it could be up to millions, and it could be used for multiple purposes. For example, to keep records of products, of animals, of crops, and this information, this is also another reason why we don't know how to read it. It is because, as well as in the time of the medieval period, the knowledge of reading books, writing books, was kept in a very small circle of people, very small group, the elite. The same happened here. This was not a way like of that everybody would let's say record their information. The information for the commons was passed orally. So this is why, unfortunately, my dear friends, especially my dear Mirella, we don't know how to read the quipus, and even the archaeologists, the experts, they at this point guess a lot of what could the knots represent. But we are going to be having a special, you read our minds, because we're going to be having a special dedicated to the symbolisms in the pre-Hispanic times that Marek is going to help me to prepare for you, because he studied archaeology. Hola, Nicolas. And also, symbolism, and also some like, let's say, hieroglyphics, pre-Hispanic hieroglyphics.
Okay, here we have a good question of Cosette. What is the best time of year for temperature to go hiking? Okay, the hikes in Peru are mostly in the Andes, as you know, and in the Andes we have very clear two seasons, the wet and the dry season. The rainy season starts on November and it's until March. So if you want to hike in Peru, make one of our beautiful trails in Cordillera Blanca, Colca Canyon, or Inca Trail. So the best season for me is between May and September. May and September, so it is the best. And regarding temperatures, so it depending how high you are trekking. Then higher you are walking, is bigger the difference between day and night temperatures.
So we wanted to show you just a little bit of where we are, in case, no worries, because thanks for your question, by the way. So let me try to get much deeper here in the image. We are using in this occasion Google Earth. So Google Earth will show us a little bit of
the Andes are
very
clouds.
Cloudy. But I think, that's really interesting. Why it looks so cloudy?
Because it's rainy season.
Yeah, that's right, because rainy season glasses. So just to give you an idea where we are, this is the Andes of Peru. Peru is divided in coast. So this section over here is the coast. This is the Andes, and this is the jungle. And this is, of course, the rainy season. So the Andes of Peru, the highest mountains in Peru are, well, the highest one is
the Huascarán, in Cordillera
right?
Blanca, no, in the north of Lima.
Yes, and we have lots of really lovely treks. I am so sad that we cannot see better the profile of the country, but anyways, we are in Lima, by the way. Lima is here. This is my city. So let's also keep answering some questions. Oh, please, if you have a question, just let me know. Hola, Nicolas, no worries. We are here having fun with you all, like seeing your questions and answering. And I'm also very happy because I am close to celebrate my 200th tour for Heygo. So it is really exciting for me being able to learn every day something new with you all. I am in a process of learning, and every tour guide is learning all the time, like new history, new interpretations of things, new theories. But what is interesting also is that we are learning new technologies now. So thank you so much. Have you ever run into or gone past fire ants, army ants? Yes, Nicolas, we have.
All of them.
Yeah. So we have a tour in Peru that we both have run in several locations that includes a visit to the jungle. That's the part in the country where you can see the jungle section, where you can see fire ants, where you can see all those little insects, tarantulas also, which are like chicken tarantula. Do you remember? That's huge. It's the size of a chicken. So and yes, the fire ants, very very worried about them because, for example, when we travel with tour groups to the jungle, we have to use guys that are naturalists, that are especially trained to, by hearing, like recognize the singing of that bird that is. So say, oh, that one is, I don't know, a parrot, no, for example. So you say, wow, wow, and then he tries to find the moment, the right moment where you can spot this animal in particular. So, and we were always like concerned of touching the trees.
The most important rule: don't touch anything in the jungle.
Yeah. You should not do it if you want to survive. So and then you are like this because you don't want to touch anything, right? And you don't want to touch anything for two reasons also. One is, of course, not to touch a tree and maybe having something, like an insect that can bite you, and also because you have to use repellent, right? So if you touch a insect that is, innocuous for you, that has no problem, that makes nothing to you, you can kill the insect. So if a butterfly comes to your hands and you have no, it's not just repellent, no, insect repellent, and licks you, she will die. So it's really sad because, well, you don't want to kill the nature, right? But you cannot go without using insect repellent. You're going to be eaten right away alive by mosquitoes. So Mirela is asking, gracias Mirela, what were the Incas eat? Oh, so the food of the Incas, the diet of the Incas. Well, first of all, Mirela, the Incas and pre-Inca societies, which we can talk about, for example, the pre-Hispanic period as a period of a constant period of evolution in South America. No, so in our part of the world, before the coming of the conquistadors, we had no chicken, no pork or pig, no beef, no horses, no goose, no. There were many animals that did not existed here, and also many products like no onions, no citruses. Well, there several actually, a very long list. Like let's say maybe in this moment 40% of the food we eat in Peru is indigenous only to Peru, and the rest, it comes from different parts of the world. So the Incas, according to where they live, this is also another important thing because Peru has 3 regions. I think I have a picture I will show you in a little while. So we have 3 regions in Peru. We have coast, we have Andes, and we have the jungle. So in the coast, the diet was one, in the Andes another, and in the jungle another. But there was constant trade of products because just for getting a better supplement, like they knew there were products that were very good, so they trade products from the Andes, originally of the Andes, for example, fish, salty fish from the coast. So and what the people from the coast would like, coca, for example, from the jungle, or from the other side of the country. Potatoes from the elevated zones. So yes, this is why the diet was very
almost the half of the things you eat daily, they are coming from Americas. No, if you're thinking about it, the diet of the Incas and the people from the Andes were richer than the diet of the Spaniards, for sure. No, more healthy and better, for sure. Less greasy. And we have some interesting questions. If the season is the same for visiting Peru as for hiking, yes. And the local experience, yes, of course, we have a lot of tourists that is developed by local communities, especially in the region of Cusco. No, Cusco is the most demanded region for tourists, and sometimes they don't have enough places in hotels. So the local community take advantage of that, and you can spend night in local houses and local farms and learn how they live. work with your hands on Pachamama, on the Mother Earth. Also in the Colca Valley is another option to have homestays and, for example, learn how to make pottery or how to weave. So we have those kinds of experience in Peru for sure.
Exactly.
Share our culture.
Nicholas, that's true. I remember that the guy said that those tarantulas could eat chickens, like small chicken. But I remember that the chicken tarantulas were as big as a chicken. Truly, like nowadays, chickens are not so big too. The ones in the market, so they are like this, right? Like baby chickens. Yeah. So it was the same size. So that's why I remember it like that. So also, just to give you, I think this image will be more helpful for understanding a little bit of the differences in the country. We have the coast. This is Peru. This is our beautiful country. This is the coast of Peru. This is the Andes of Peru, and this is the jungle. So we have three regions. Most of the population of Peru lives along the coast, especially in the capital of Peru, which is Lima. And the smaller amount of people that live in Peru live in the jungle. Mm-hmm.
One more thing regarding the question of Liz. For example, my favorite season to visit Peru, and I recommend, is April and May. Not especially for hiking, but if you want to visit all Peru. Why? Because it's still sunny in the coast, the good weather, and all the country is green and the rivers are full because the rainy season was just finished some weeks ago. So it's very, very green. Now, if you came, for example, to Peru in August, September, the country is exactly the same, but it's not green, it's more yellowish, for example. The mountains are more golden color, more dry. The weather is dry.
Also, I have something interesting that can be very helpful for our friend Jessica, because Jessica wants to know a little bit of, let's say, some suggestions and activities you can do in Peru. I don't know, Jessica, if you are like interested in something completely off the beaten track, but we are going to be doing one special about like all of these off the beaten track destinations. But we have some images that maybe can be very helpful for you all to know, like which ones are the most famous destinations in Peru. And well, we can do also an special on hotels if you want, like recommendation on hotels in every city, like for like 3 stars or 4 star or 5 star hostels. Also, we have tried them all. So we have gone to hitchhikers to 5-star hotels. So that's the best part of being a tour guide. You can really try it all. So before I pass to the next questions, which you can start leaving then, no worries. So just to give you an idea of where we are, let me open this.
Tak, ja jeszcze mówię po polsku cały czas. Mam grupę po polsku.
Nicholas, are you part Polish too, or you have some relatives that speak Polish? Marek's Polish is really fine, really fine. So here we have Lima City, by the way, my friends, just to give you an idea and to answer a little bit more properly the question of Jessica. But also we're going to be doing a special about hotels in Peru, like our recommendations, like our insights about which one could be good or which one can be let's say it's not the best, like for, I don't know, depending on what you're looking for. So this is Lima City. This is the capital of the city. This is where I do lots of tours in Lima, by the way. If you would like to see my tours in Lima, follow my channel, my friends. It's www.heygo.com/Vanessa with V and double S. So yes, Adam. So look at
Adam
this.
Is my cousin.
Yes, Adam. So we have here also another highlight of Peru. Who knows which this place is? Have you ever been here, my friends that have been already in Peru? This is a famous site where you can see lots of seabirds, and this is what we can see in the especially the central and south coast of Peru. In this case, we are seeing the islands of Ballestas.
And now we show you how it goes the regular and the most touristic program on our itinerary in Peru is going from Lima to the south across the ocean, crossing the ocean line, and then turn left into the mountains. So this is a program that could take 2 weeks, no, in average.
Yes, yes. So going to see all of these places will take about 2 weeks. There's another thing really fun. And Cosette also, thanks for that question. What is one thing you wish tourists knew about your country, or one thing they did or did not do? Well, basically, Cosette, what I think most people don't know about my country is that Peru is not just Machu Picchu or Cusco, right? Peru is so much more. And with this Ask Me Anything sessions, we would like to give ideas to people about what other things they can see, and maybe later in other meetings we can also go deeper. But this is just to give you some general names, and later maybe you can dig in a little bit more info. This is an oasis called Wakachina Oasis. It's located in Ica. And it's a really fun place because you can practice here sandboarding and the boogies, the boogie cars, the ones that go over the sand. So it's really interesting. And later, my friends, at 1, we have a meeting about the Nazca lines. You are all invited to that one. We are going with Marek to tell you a bit of, well, how the lines were discovered, which one was their use, or what the archaeologists believe was the use given to Nazca lines. So please join us on that one. You're going to have lots of fun there. So the Nazca lines are in Nazca in the department of Ica. This is a city that is also very beautiful, because if you've been in the tours of my friend Elizabeth in Arequipa, you know this place. This is the capital of the department of Arequipa. This is the city of Arequipa, and Misty Volcano is behind. So the people of Arequipa are, we say they have very strong temper because they live right next to a volcano. Mm-hmm. And well, here is where you see the condors. So the condors that are very beautiful, and unfortunately they are not easy to be seen anymore because of the overhunting of this animal for magical purposes, for different purposes, or because we are taking over the land where they used to live. So the place where you can see this majestic bird, the biggest bird in the world, flying bird in the world, is Colca Canyon, Canyon Colca. So one day also we're going to be doing a special about Colca Canyon. So, and we have, this is Puno. This is the city of Puno. How high is Marek Puno?
3,820 meter high.
Very
in
high.
front of the Titicaca Lake.
So Puno is basically the one of the highest cities in the country, densely populated. We have also some higher cities too, but not as densely populated as this one. And this is the highest city, like, is of touristic interest. But people go to Puno usually to visit this. They go to Puno to visit the Uros Island. The Uros people who live in these floating islands made of reeds, they have adapted to live in such conditions. The story of them is really interesting. In another session, we're going to be talking, of course, about them. So this is a really interesting community, and they live in the same ancestral way they used to for thousands of years also. And we have next one. Sorry if I'm taking long to answer this question, but I prepare some images for you to maybe dig in later. So this is the temple of Huiracocha in a community called Rachi. This is after Puno. You go in direction to Cusco to see Mike, right? To see my friend Mike. And on the way from Puno to Cusco, you have to pass along this community called Rachi, and the community of Rachi, which are very friendly people. They are in charge of taking care of this ancient temple of a god called Huiracocha, which was considered the creator of the world.
If you want, you can stay in Rakchi community. They have houses for you, And if you stay there and spend one more night, so you are close to this point.
Exactly. So we have here two images of mountains. We have the famous Rainbow Mountain, which is on the left, and another Rainbow Mountain, less commonly visited, less popular, is called Palcoyo. So both are now considered to be the new gems of the country in terms of tourism, right? So this is another very intense hike, by the way, talking about the
Yeah,
hikes.
here you reach 5,000-meter high walking. To see
Exactly.
this.
So, oh, thank you, Cosette. Gracias, gracias. I hope you're not getting bored with these images. This is just to give you an idea of a little panorama of how the let's say most classic circuit in Peru is, and what else you can see besides, of course, Machu Picchu and Cusco. And here we are finally in the star of the whole trip in Peru. It is Cusco, and we have, of course, Machu Picchu at the end. So we have here the star of the tours of my friend Mike. So well, it is going to Machu Picchu after seeing so much in the country for 2 weeks, more or less. It is like, wow, no, so it's amazing. You are in the summit, but all the rest you have seen, all of what you have seen before, it also makes the trips to Peru very special. You don't need to spend 2 weeks here. Of course, there's people that just go straight to Machu Picchu because they don't have the time. But if you have the chance of spending 2 or even 3 weeks, if we do 3 weeks, you can go to the jungle and you can go to the north of Peru. And in another occasion, I'm going to be with Marek telling you more about these places.
Yeah, this is just the south from Cusco. There are planes that from 1 hour takes you to Puerto Maldonado in the middle of the jungle, close to Mano and Tapopata reserves. There are lodges there. You can spend 4 days, 5 days in the middle of the nature. And the north of Peru is another story. It's also very, very interesting, very diverse, and less known. And there are a lot of treasures there. For example, when we talk about archaeology in Peru, the most important places are in the north, not in the south of Lima. So we will prepare another program, or another meet to talk about the roads to the on the north of Peru. This is very interesting.
Exactly. We would like to talk about eventually in another occasion about hotels, about well, the lodgings, hotels, about off the beaten track destinations too, like help you to, for example, understand what you can see in the north if you're thinking in coming back to Peru, if you have already been in Peru. So it would be lovely for us to at least make your trip to Peru easier and more sort of like with better expectations, no? So more realistic expectations also of what you are going to be getting here in the country. So we have a time for one more question before we finish. Hola, hi, thanks for coming. Hola, hola. So maybe a program about archaeological sites too. Of course, we
Yeah,
can do.
we can make us a program
This is our
to
dream
follow
come
the
true.
sequences, yeah, on different stage of development here
Yeah.
in the Central Andes. It can be organized as a tour, starting on the oldest place in Caral, 200 north kilometers of Lima, and finishing in Machu Picchu, no?
Exactly.
The summit of the knowledge of the Andean society.
And if you have any particular request of something, we would like to do these meetings like once a month, like for like reuniting like questions for 1 month and just coming over with answering them and well, not just about tourism. You can ask about anything, so don't be shy, please don't be shy. So if next time, let me esta vez Peru, I will definitely visit you both. Oh, gracias,
Thank
Liz.
you very
Of
much.
course, we are here waiting for you with the arms open, with a pisco sour, with a ceviche. My house is your house. So muchas gracias. Thanks, Eve. And let me see if there is any question. Anyone sounds like a dream trip. Oh, gracias. Thank you, amigos. Kunta, thank you so much for your tip support. It helps us also to continue building tours and programs and events and these activities, because well, we use the word tip like when we said that there's something, another payment like made, and tip is something aside. But the way how Hego offers these events is for free. We do it for free for everybody to join. Gracias, sí, gracias, Cosette. So in that way, everybody can get to learn more about different cultures, different places around the world. So with your tips, you are not just helping us, you are helping also Hego, because we split the tips with Hego, and that helps us all. So muchas gracias. And Liz is asking, is there one place in particular that tourism don't visit much that you wish more people would? I think Marek and I would have different answers.
Yeah. The country is very big and very diverse. And if you have a chance, read about Chachapoyas. This is my favorite place in Peru, Chachapoyas.
Yes. Chachapoy. Oh, see, this is your 936 Hego tour. Oh, wow. That's amazing. See, thanks for being like here with us too. I don't know if this is the first time. I think you said this is the first time you're here with us. If it is, oh my God, it makes me so happy. I hope you enjoyed this one, by the way, because this is a new tour. This is a new event we have created. We usually do tours in the street, like streaming and showing history and archaeological sites. But this is something from home, so I hope it pleases you too. My opinion, I would say, Peru is such a lovely country in general. I enjoy a lot the coast of Peru. I love the coast traditions. I would love people to go to Trujillo, the north of the country, Trujillo. I live streamed a couple of months ago from Trujillo. It has like a beautiful historic center. It has several archaeological sites. It has amazing beaches. It has the full package.
And good weather.
Mm-hmm. And really good food. Mm-hmm. So I think it would be lovely to develop more the north of the country in general, because the site Marek mentioned is also in the north, but in the North Jungle. I'm talking about the north coast. So, and that there, well, we are on the way to help my country to be better known. That's what we want. Also, we hope that we are able to achieve that. And if we can convince one person to come to Peru, that would be like, the best. That would be the best thing for us. So Nicholas, did you beat me 250? Nicholas, you are very close to that number too. So thank you, Liz. Muchas gracias, Liz. You are such a kind person, and I really appreciate you being with us always. So thank you. I recognize many names that are always with me, and also I am glad to see always new names, and I hope you feel comfortable coming anytime here in Lima. These are your friends here now, so come back as many times as you wish, and try to join us later, because we have a tour about Nazca.
Yeah, in 10 minutes.
In 10 minutes. Yeah. The archaeologists will explain Nazca. So we are finishing this tour, like put end tour, and we're going to start in the other one to say hi to the people that are there. So please come. Thank you, Liz. Liz is sharing the link if you would like to continue with this meeting with us. Click on that link after we finish, and you're going to be back here. And we have a slideshow prepared. This is going to be mainly slideshows. So, and prepare your questions too. See, so Quito is in Ecuador. Yes. My friend Gunta, Quito is in Ecuador, and Steffi is going to organize, I think, and ask me anything about Ecuador. So she has lots of knowledge, but eventually we can also organize something to tell you more about all the sites. See. So más de Nazca. Yes, we're going to see more of Nazca, Nicholas, and we're going to talk about the history of who made the Nazca lines, why for we think nowadays. All of these answers will be given to you. See? So thank you, Jessica. Gracias. Thanks for your tip support. Thanks to everybody that has been so kind. Liz, muchas gracias to help us with today's tour with the tips. So God bless you all. Have a lovely rest of the Sunday and hope to see you very soon. In Lima or anywhere in the world, because who knows, life take us to different directions. So we're going to be surprising you very soon with something very interesting. So see you later. Take care, my friends. Bye bye. See you in some minutes. Bye bye.